Hello, Phyllis. You're quite charming today. A little while before Path of Exile 2 got out, charms were announced to be introduced into the game. They were designed as situational sources of mitigation to effects such as Frozen, Bleed, and Shock. Elements that were traditionally mitigated in PoE by some items, equipment modifiers, the Pantheon, or flasks, which are way scarcer in PoE 2, at least at the time of this video. But after their introduction in 0.1, charms were completely abandoned. Up until recently, introduction of unique charms, implicit modifiers on belts for charm sockets, promise of future changes for charms, Charm Nation was feeling very, very good. Isn't that right, Charm Nation? True. But while charms are definitely in a better place, I think there is room for more changes, so here's a little fun update to charms.
The charm system is really where we can go wild there, and so I think if we were doing more kind of interesting stuff or like expanding on that, I think we'd do it in the charms.
Starting with new bases. Silicate Charm improves life regenerate when you fall short on life. Luna Charm makes you start your energy shield recharge faster when you fall short on it. Azurite Charm improves mana regenerate when you fall short on mana. Flight Charm grants you immunity to debuffs and ailments coming from ground effects. It is worded like this as to not nullify the beneficial ground effects like Consecrated Grounds. Tourmaline Charm reduces the effects of curses on you when you get cursed. So nothing too crazy, just spots I thought could be filled. But with this out of the way, let's get into the spice, with new corruption outcomes. Currently, corruption on charms works the same way it does for flasks. A 100% hit on quality with a high variance. For this fun updated charm, I made corruption have 4 different outcomes instead, just like it does for equipments. This way, it offers greater min-maxing to charms as well as new possibilities. The outcomes are 25% chance for nothing to happen, 25% chance for the current charm corruption outcome to happen, changing the quality, 25% chance for the charm to get a special Vaal enchantment, and 25% chance for the charm to become Deviant, with a potential surprise outcome on unique charms. What does this potential surprise outcome mean? We will get to that later. Before going into what Deviant means, here is a list of potential Vaal enchantments I thought of. These first ones are simple enchants that trigger a generic beneficial effect on use or during the effect. Then we have some meta ones toying with charm charges and effects. And finally a kind of champagne one, a low chance to get the base effect of every charm, meaning cannot be stunned, immunity to poison, etc. And it also includes the base effect of Deviant charms as well. Which finally brings us to Deviant charms. Deviant charms are new charm bases that function just like their original counterpart, but are triggered from complementary-ish conditions to provide a complementary-ish effect instead. So a Deviant Ruby charm, for example, drops the added fire resistance to increase fire damage you deal instead, and is used when you deal fire damage on hit. Okay, so not providing an exhaustive list, just giving some examples that should cover the general idea for each Deviant basis. Deviant Staunching Charm is used when you inflict bleeding to an enemy to make inflicted bleedings deal damage faster. Deviant Silver Charm activates when you slow an enemy to improve the slow magnitude. Deviant's Silicate Charm makes your hits stronger against enemies on full life. Deviant Luna Charm allows you to quickly chunk down enemies' energy shields. Deviant Azurite Charm makes your spell stronger when you hit an enemy while on full mana. And Deviant Golden Charm gives you a different way to gain rarity of items during its duration that better suit swarm gameplay like Expedition or Breach. Unique charms can also turn Deviant. Here's the example with Deviant Beira's Anguish. And speaking of uniques, what would be a custom update without some unique items? Shrieking Box is a unique silicate charm that releases a scream which breaks the concentration of enemies it hits, bundled with a way to make the scream wider. Kahutuhora's Jade is a stone charm that grants you stacks of jade coupled with a bonus to stun build-up. Finger of Dominus is a grounding charm that lets you divert the shock that triggered it to your minions, boosting them. Haunted Jar is a tourmaline charm that transforms the curse that triggered it into a wraith that inflicts the same curse on enemies it goes through. As it is not you who places a curse, it doesn't count toward your curse limit. Baron's Ultimatum is an Azure charm which limits mana recovery but boosts spell damage based on your mana regeneration rate. So, this is for the normal unique charms, but remember this bit in Corruption about potential special outcomes? A potential surprise outcome on unique charms. Some unique charms only have a Deviant base. When you Vaal a unique charm and it turns Deviant, it has a further 25% chance to instead become one of these special unique charms. You can see they are special because despite having a Deviant base, they don't have Deviant in their name. Blood Tether is a Deviant staunching charm. During its effects, whenever you inflict bleeding on an enemy, a tether is formed that attaches bleeding enemies to you. Enemies tethered to you share their blood loss equally, and whenever you use a skill, you tap into this blood loss bank first to pay its cost. An extra gore is just a cosmetic effect that helps you paint the soil red. Innocence's Downfall is a Deviant Lunar charm. During its effects, breaking enemies' energy shields make them explode, dealing lightning damage around them. Eternal Ice is a Divine Thawing charm. During its effects, you can build an extra freeze upon already frozen enemies. If you manage to make it proc in time, the freeze breaks, but the enemy is scarred with cold forever. Scar is a new type of debuff that makes an enemy less vulnerable to ailments, but more vulnerable to a damage type, and it can stack indefinitely. Alright lads, that will be all from me this time. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me what you think down there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye bye lads. See you. Bye. Bye.